morning. Thank you, Ms. Wright, for that kind introduction. It is an honor to stand here in front of you today and to share my story with you, and to speak on behalf of thousands of children ACE has served in our community. Each child ACE serves has a unique story, has faced his or her own challenges, and has dreams and passions that are different than my own. I am just one of many ACE stories. My story begins in Aurora, where I live with my mom and 3 siblings, an older brother, an older sister, and a younger sister. I grew up in a single-parent home where no one had ever graduated from high school. My older sister attended our neighborhood public schools and struggled not only with academics, but also with violence and bullying. She, like many of our friends and neighbors, fell in the wrong crowd. She became pregnant at a young age and dropped out of school before graduating. My older brother, who has always been smart and good at school, also attended our neighborhood schools. He became involved with a gang and dropped out a month before his high school graduation. My mom was devastated. My mom and grandparents knew firsthand the struggle of going through life without an education. They saw the struggles my older siblings went through, and they saw me struggling as well. Like my brother and sister, and because I had no other choice, I attended my neighborhood elementary school. I remember disliking school as early as kindergarten. And while I wasn't a bad kid and was fortunate not to fall in with the wrong crowd, I struggled to keep up with my peers academically. The large class sizes made it impossible for me to get the one-on-one help I needed, and as school grew difficult, I enjoyed it less and less. By the time I reached 8th grade, I was reading at a 4th grade reading level, struggling with math, and dreading going to school each and every day. I was on the same path that my sister and brother had been on, and the chances of me graduating from high school looked very slim, and my mom knew this. She worried that if I stayed in my neighborhood school, I too would fall in a trap of gangs, possibility of drugs, or even teenage pregnancy, and fall short of a high school graduation. It was then that my aunt mentioned a school called La Academia. She said, we should go talk to principal. Her name's Charlene. From that moment on, we walked into the school. My mom knew that La Academia was a different kind of place. A place where I would be able to receive the one-on-one attention I needed to grow academically and the support I needed to stay on the course to high school graduation. A place where the teachers understood the challenges I faced outside the classroom, the difficulties of growing up in a single-parent family with very few positive role models. A place where the environment I grew up in and the zip code I lived in would not determine my future. Unfortunately, despite my mom working long hours as a file clerk at a healthcare company, the school was financially out of reach for my family. Thankfully, for Charlene, understood how important La Academia would be to my future, and she suggested that we apply for the ACE scholarship. So, we applied and found out that while the scholarship would not cover all the tuition, it would cover just enough to make attending La Academia possible for me and my family. I had no concept of how much that day would change my life. Almost immediately, the teachers at La Academia began working tirelessly to get me up to my grade level. They supported me, tutored me, and perhaps most importantly, saw me. They quickly accepted me as part of the La Academia family. At holidays, they served dinner to students and their families, held a gift drive to be sure that we all had presents, and sent home with boxes of food over school breaks. That being said, those years weren't exactly easy, but after all, I was still a high school girl. It took a lot of hard work and some tough love from family and friends to keep me on the right track, and one person in particular, a teacher at La Academia named Mark Paul Johnson, sat me down and reminded me that if I wanted to be the first in my family to graduate high school, I was going to have to make some tough decisions, work hard, prepare myself, in his own words, get it together. With his help and the help of the La Academia staff, I did just that. I got it together. I earned all A's the next semester, became very involved with an organization called Girls Inc., and set my sights firmly on high school graduation. As I look back at this time, I'm extremely proud of what I was able to accomplish. But I'm even more proud of the effect it had on my little sister. She was faced with a choice to follow the path of my older brother and sister, or to follow my path towards graduation. And I'm so happy she chose to follow my lead. Before long, we were both at La Academia, both on A scholarships, and both competing for the #1 spot on the La Academia honor roll. No lie, really. At the end of my senior year in high school, on graduation day, I found myself in my cap and gown, graduating at the top of my class, prepared to celebrate the biggest day not only of my life, but my family's life as well. I could not believe it. I was no longer the girl who didn't like school, who struggled to read, who was tempted by peer pressure, or who got caught in the traps that so many of my friends and family got. That day, I was a straight A honor roll student who worked hard, loved learning, and knew I would be a change maker in my family and community. That day, I became the first in my family to graduate high school. The diploma I received was not just for myself. It was for my teachers who became my family and kept me on the right path. It was for my mom. It was for my mom, who is the strongest person I know, and my #1 cheerleader, who has sacrificed so much to care for me and my siblings. I love you. It was for my grandparents, who had always told us that education, more than anything else, is the key to a great life. And it was for my older siblings, who didn't have the same opportunities I had, and for my younger sister, who was following in my footsteps. It was even for a part of my dad, who has been completely absent from my life for 10 years, but was sitting in the audience on graduation day. In many ways, it was for all of you. That day would have not been possible without the help of ACE. I would have not been standing here in front of you, a proud high school graduate, a living proof that a little help could go a long way in the life of a child. After high school, I knew I wanted to take my education a step further and do something that had never happened in my family. I wanted to pursue a post-secondary education. I pushed myself to apply for several scholarships and college programs. I was awarded a $10,000 Girls Inc. scholarship, which I used to complete my certification as an esthetician at Emily Griffith and obtain several professional licenses. I work now full-time as an esthetician, and I'm so grateful to be able to support myself and help support my family in doing a job that I love. However, if my time at La Academia taught me anything, it's that I'm always capable of pushing myself further and accomplishing the things that seem to be impossible. 5 years ago, I felt like high school graduation was an unreachable goal. And since then, so many things have changed. My younger sister, Anya, is now a sophomore at CU Denver, and my brother returned to school and recently completed his GED. I have successfully completed numerous college courses, something I never imagined I would do, and will be applying to business school this coming January. Thank you. I'm so excited to see what my future holds now that I know what I am capable of. Without ACE, I would have not had the opportunity to discover my own potential. I would have not have graduated high school with honors, and I would have never have dreamed of enrolling in college. Without ACE, I truly don't know where I would be today. I know I would not be here. Thank you for believing in me at a time when I didn't even believe in myself. Thank you for providing me with the community and the support I needed to succeed. Thank you for investing in my future. I will always be forever grateful. Thank you. You guys have a lovely day.